Hey folks, Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin. This is my top 40 least favorite wrestlers. And I want to give a shout out to Azak Donegan on Twitter who came up with his own. He's doing his in his blog. check out his Twitter feed. I believe he has a pinned tweet to his postings that he has on a blog post. Really good stuff. Really cool wrestling fan. Really cool guy to follow. So give it a shot. I'll put his Twitter handle in the description so you guys can check him out. That way you don't screw it up. But I'll spell it out here for you. Not S-A-W-F-T, soft. No. Z-A-C-H-D-O-N-E-G-A-N. Zach Donegan. Cool guy. Zach, I hope I got your name right. Sorry if I got it wrong. He's a really cool guy, and he inspired me to come up with what was originally going to be a top 50, and I narrowed it down to 40 because I was like, okay, once it got to 30, I started to struggle with some of them. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to take some of them off the list. Because I was like, this really should be just reserved for the people I just can't stand for one reason or another. And that's just really what this is about. I mean, honestly, it's people that had to have been in the rings. There will be no Vince Russo, despite how fucking terrible he is. There will be no Josh Matthews, despite how terrible he is. There will be no Mark Madden, despite how god-awful that dumb fat fuck is. There will be no Ed Ferrara, even though Ed Ferrara tried apparently wrestling in the mid to late 90s, and I'm sure he was about as good of a wrestler as he was a human being, mocking JR and his illness. Dumb fuck. Moving on from that, these are people that had to have competed in the ring. And Hogan will not be on here. Hogan was on my favorite list, top 50 favorite list. He was about middle, maybe just a little bit below top 25. But even for all Hogan does, and for, Hogan being maybe not the best human being, he still did a lot for wrestling. He still provided a lot of great moments, and I'm not going to have him on here. I will, however, have others on here that I just personally never cared for, period. At least at one time I was a Hogan fan. Moving on, long introduction. Now here we go. Number 40, David Otunga. Name one good thing he did in the ring. Name one good thing he did in the ring specifically. And I'm not talking like being part of a group, being part of Nexus and that kind of stuff. Name one good thing he did. I mean, leave it in the comments, seriously. Like, the guy had a good physique, and I'm sure still does. He doesn't wrestle anymore. He wasn't that good anyway. He does commentary. He's not that good at commentary. He's just vanilla. Sure, you could put Byron Saxon on here, but it's like Byron wasn't that bad on commentary in NXT. I mean, he wasn't great, but he wasn't that bad. Otunga has not been good on commentary no matter what show they've had him on. No, whether it's been either Superstars or Main Event or whatever it was. And moving him up to SmackDown. Now he's apparently going to Raw whenever he gets done filming his movies, because I'm sure he's about as good of an actor as he was a wrestler and a commentator. I don't hate Otunga. He's just very vanilla to me. Just very vanilla, very boring. Number 39, Jerry Lawler. This mainly refers to the later Jerry Lawler look. Now, I'm not talking about Memphis Jerry Lawler. The guy was a big star. Did a lot of stuff for the Memphis territory. And had a lot of good feuds, like with Nick Bockwinkel. He had a great match with Kerry Von Erich at Super Clash 3. And he was a good heel, for Bret Hart, making fun of, Bret Hart's parents and that kind of stuff. Okay? He was fine, but then he became so much more of a lecherous creep, especially in the Attitude Era and in the, in the later years and that kind of stuff. And just part of the reason I put him on here is because of him referring to Mauro Ranallo as MR, which stood for mental. He called him a mental idiot. I'm going to use the word idiot because I'm not going to use the R word. I said that just as much on a previous rapid fire rant that I did, and check out that playlist because I don't quite remember what episode it was. It was one of the more recent ones. But that's part of the reason I'm putting him on here. Is like Lawler just has proven to be kind of a crotchety, stupid old man. I mean, it's just somebody where the business passed him by a long time ago. My opinion, of course. I'm not going to take anything away from what Lawler did in Memphis, and even earlier WWE. But the guy has really, in the last, I would say, 20 years especially, has been just a rotten piece of shit. I mean, and I'm just sticking with that. I just never, and the fact that, that Lawler made fun of Mauro like he did, and has made fun of others. I mean, come on. It's like there's being a heel, and then there's being just ridiculous. I'm glad that he recovered from his heart attack. I'm glad he did not die on TV. I don't wish death on the guy. But I feel, quite frankly, the guy's kind of become a piece of shit. So that's why he's here at number 39. Number 38, Val Venus. Because I hated the Val Venus character even in its height. Now, I mean, it got Sean Morley over. Cool. I mean, I think it's his name. I might have pronounced his last name wrong, but I just never cared for the character. It's like the character was so one note. You see one promo and that's it. And he was a decent wrestler. I mean, he wasn't like fantastic, but he was a decent enough wrestler. Probably would have worked a whole lot better had he not been given a character that had a very short shelf life. By 2000, the character was already done. I just never cared for it. I just found the character gross and not really good. I just found the character not really all that interesting. The wrestler was decent, but I just never cared for the character. Number 37, Jim Duggan. Because he played the same goddamn character from about 88 and into in WWE until he left in 94, went to WCW and played the same damn character. It's like, it was ridiculous. Like, God, it was so embarrassing. It was just so embarrassing. I mean, it's just the fact that he was once a U.S. champion in WCW is ridiculous. I mean, sure, Vader beat him, and that's great, and Vader should have beaten him. And I hope soundly beat him. I believe he beat him at Starrcade 94, if I recall correctly. Because I know that Duggan won the title in the fall of 94. But yeah, it's just, Jim Duggan, his character was just so bland. His Mid-South stuff wasn't bad. But just a lot of his later stuff, I mean, and I'm talking like mainly from about, say, 91 to just, into WCW and when WCW closed down, because it was embarrassing. It's like the guy was living off the same character. There's nothing wrong with doing the same thing that helped, that got you over. But if you don't even evolve as a performer, and he didn't, his work was like shit. His work got to be just shit. I mean, the guy could be a really nice guy, and I mean, I don't know, but it's like, this is mainly just based on character. His character was just so uninteresting and so bland. Number 36, Jinder Mahal. Yeah, I'm putting Jinder on here. Look, I know Jinder's Canadian. I'm not saying Jinder's a bad guy. Jinder's going on here because he's the worst WWE champion of all time, and I'm sticking to that. He is the worst WWE champion of all time. He's worse than Khali was as a champion, and here's why he's worse than Khali. Khali, at least, while he wasn't any good and he couldn't fucking move and still can't move, and I mean, I hope he has a healthy life. Unfortunately, tall guys tend to not. But anyway, Khali at least had the presence, the physical stature where Vince was going to make him a world champion. I mean, it's like, and he did well in the India market. He was viewed very highly in the India market. Apparently still is. And I believe he's about 45 this year. Might already be 45. Jinder, however, was treated, even that brief feud he had with Khali where he sort of got the best of him. Khali then squashed him in one of the Rumbles, and I think it was a 2012 Rumble. I think it was a 2012 Rumble. And then Jinder was treated like a jobber ever since. And then, WWE, we need to get in the India market. Let's make Jinder a world champion. He's Canadian. Let's make Jinder a world champion. He's on here because, and he's still not that good in the ring, or at least not what he's allowed to show. The guy's not a very good promo. Just very, very, just not good. Just not good. And again, the worst WWE champion of all time as of, and I mean, let's see, I'm just going to take a look at my calendar, even though, like, this video will go up at some point, but as of June 13th, 2017, he is the worst WWE champion of all time, unless Hulk Hogan comes back on, say, the July 4th episode of SmackDown and beats Jinder. Instead of having John Cena do that, if they have Hogan come back and beat Jinder, then okay, then it'll be unseated, because a 60-plus-year-old Hulk Hogan being the champion would be ridiculous. But yeah, now we move on to the women. And I mean, there will be some women on here, and yes, okay, this is referring to wrestling ability and character. This one is not referring to the person whom I've heard is one of the sweetest, nicest people you will ever meet. Kelly Kelly, number 35. Why Kelly Kelly? Did you watch her in the ring? Even when she learned to wrestle, she couldn't even run the ropes properly. She could hit a decent head scissors and scream, and go around the corner I don't know, somebody gave her a math problem to solve or whatever. I'm kidding. She wasn't actually stupid. They just made her sound stupid. But she hits the head scissors. She's like doing this pain. Oh, God, just made me want, ow. Probably shouldn't have punched myself in the head. But it made me want to punch myself in the head. But it looked really good, didn't it? The fact that she was Divas Champion, she beat Beth Phoenix, And I mean, I know it's not on Kelly, it's on the booking, but it's just, why? Why was she put in the ring? I mean, that's when, it's no wonder that WWE couldn't get fans to take women's wrestling that seriously from the time Trish and Lita left in '06, even with Mickey and a few others, until sometime like recently, like when NXT started giving rise to the women, because they made women like Kelly Kelly the Divas champion. They made Candice Michelle at one point a women's champion, and I have nothing against those particular women as people, none whatsoever. But it wasn't believable. I watched Kelly Kelly live at Over the Limit 2011. Sorry, she wasn't very good in the ring. I don't know about her as a person. There's one particular person that I'm sure is going to watch this video at some point. A girl's really, really awesome. I won't mention her by name. I won't call her out. But she knows who she is. She's met Kelly Kelly a couple times. Apparently she's really sweet, and that's awesome. But character-wise, wrestling-wise, she was shit. She was absolute shit. Just 100% shit. And by the way, sorry if I sound a little congested, dealing with some allergies. So thanks for putting up with that. Gonna wrap up this a little bit here soon. Gonna go about 15 minutes each show. So I'm glad, that you guys are sticking around. But number 34, R-Truth. I guess he got okey-doked into being, basically the same damn character he's been for a number of years. His heel run was fucking terrific. Because he was R-Truth that just snapped and just went nuts and everything. And that was great. That was great stuff. And this could even go back to his time in TNA. His teaming with Pac-Man, I felt so bad for Truth. No wonder that Ron Killings left and went to WWE. Because I'd be upset if I had to, carry a football player that, shot up a strip club and everything because he was an idiot. And I mean, it could have been him, it could have been his posse. I don't care. Pac-Man Jones was a piece of shit. But R-Truth has played the same damn character. Played the same damn characters in 2001, with the exception of that heel run in WWE. I mean, he was a heel a little bit in Impact Wrestling, and it was TNA back then. But yeah, just generally, it's been the same damn thing. And I mean, as far as this feud with Goldust going on, I can't wait for Goldust to squash him. He just should. Truth should not get the win. He's a really good athlete for being in his mid-40s. I will say that, and it's good that he raises his kids properly and keeps working hard for them, and he's exploring outside ventures. I think he's got a clothing line developing. He does music. I don't mind the guy, Ron Killings, R-Truth. The character was it's just been the same for so damn long and bland and whatever. And I'd say get him out of the ring. And if you want to put him on commentary, go ahead and put him on commentary. Have him dial it down a bit and be on commentary. He'll be Barry Notunga. I'll say that much. But yeah, R-Truth. That's why he's here, number 34. His character has barely evolved. Besides that heel run. Number 33, Kevin Sullivan. I have never seen the fucking appeal of Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan was shit in the ring. Absolute shit in the ring. I never care for the hardcore blood and guts stuff of some wrestlers. Bruiser Brody and Abdullah the Butcher, I sort of got that feud. I mean, even though I've had to go back and watch it. I mean, I watched a little bit of it at a very young age. But couldn't appreciate it, and I've watched it more going back. But Kevin Sullivan just had the stupidest finisher. I mean, if I remember right, he barely hops up because the fat fuck can't even move. Hops up, stomps on somebody, and then covers him. Yeah, hops up from the ring, by the way. I mean, just runs, hops, boom, pins him. I don't know if that's been his finisher forever, but Kevin Sullivan, Kevin Sullivan was shit. He's a shit booker, by the way. I mean, a lot of stuff he booked. Him and Chris Benoit had a really, really good feud, which was rooted in a lot of personal animosity because, Kevin Sullivan booked his own divorce because Sullivan's apparently an idiot that took a few too many chair shots to the head. I just never got the appeal of Kevin Sullivan. I just never did. The Dungeon of Doom stuff was absolutely ridiculous. And by the way, cheap, plug here for a future series that I will do sometime later this year, maybe next year. And I probably should do it later this year so this doesn't get too dated. But why 1995 sucked in wrestling. And in fact, I might start doing that sometime in October, November, and just go into December. But And the Dungeon Doom will be on there. Now, I mean, is that all Kevin Sullivan's fault? I don't know. But Kevin Sullivan, just anytime I watch him in the ring, I'm just like, that's it. Why do people praise him? Now, I don't know how he is as a person. I'm sure there are people that have interviewed him. I mean, I doubt anybody who's watching this has interviewed him. I don't know. But if he's a good guy, fine. But as a wrestler, as a worker, the guy was shit. Just, I never got the appeal. I never understood it. People like Jim Cornette speak highly of him, and that's fine. I mean, he worked with him. I sort of understand that. I just never got the appeal with Kevin Sullivan. So that's where I'm going to end that video, by basically calling Kevin Sullivan a shit worker and a shit booker. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end this off. So do you agree? Do you disagree with what I've said? Like, share, comment, subscribe. My Twitter link is in the description. It's been Real Honesty with John Rittland. I'm John Rittland. I will see you soon.